All right, let's move to the next one, man. LaMelo Ball went on a rant about school not really being important unless you're gonna be like a lawyer, a doctor, or something. And other than that, you probably not gonna need school. And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I really hope he was talking about college. So we're gonna stay there.
Yeah. I think obviously he was talking about college.
He had to be. Yeah.
Because I mean, that was really the only thing that he skipped. He went from while he was in Lithuania or whatever.
By law, you still
he was still doing homeschool.
Yeah.
Like he was still doing school,
right.
But at the same time, to be real, he's not lying. Like regular school don't teach you as much as you should know. Like when I be going to school, like I've learned more in the my first 3 years out of high school. I learned more in those 3 years, like teaching myself and things like that, than I did in high school. Like he said, school for the most part is training you to follow directions. That's mainly it. It teaches you to follow directions. Yeah. That's it. So it that's why they say school ain't nothing doing but training you to be an employee.
I mean,
right. I've definitely heard that.
So for him to say like unless you're gonna be doing science work or a lawyer or judge,
something unless and I've always said that as well. If your field, whatever it is you're trying to do, don't require you to go to school. I mean, if you don't know what you're gonna do, go to school in the meantime because you don't know. But once you have a direction, like if school ain't required in that, then just go for what you going for. Because like I got one of my cousins who he went to school for 6-7 years getting his degree.
Don't even use it.
And he has a damn good job right now, making 30 something an hour, has a family, bought a home, everything. None of that spit got nothing to do with his degree.
Exactly.
None of that spit. And if anything, he probably could have been making more money right now if he would have started that earlier because it didn't require a degree for him to do what he's doing. So in a way, you could be hurting yourself by going to school in certain things. But if you don't know, I just feel like the networking, the relationships, you not knowing who you ever be in class with, college definitely has 100%.
It has its perks.
But it's not worth going into debt for the rest of your life. Which I think, because when we're kids, that's just what's drilled into us from our parents, from TV. Go to school. You gotta go to college. You gotta go to the best college, which is really the most expensive college. You gotta go to the best this. You gotta go to the best that. You gotta do that. But they don't like drill it in our head just as much as far as like just developing skills. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in 2021, college is probably, and they'll probably hate me for saying this, but college is probably less needed than ever before.
Oh, 100%.
You got certain degrees that people can go for that you can probably go on YouTube and learn. You got trade schools that charge $30,000, but you can go on YouTube and learn that same spit probably within like 2-3 weeks. It just depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? So I just, and I'm not like trying to spit on school because it, like I said, it does. Like if I would have never went to college, I have degrees, but if I would have never went to college, there's a lot of things in my life that I don't see happening. A lot of motivations that came that I don't see maybe me going towards. So it helped me in a lot of ways, but I don't use my degrees for spit.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it ain't like I got dance or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a degree that was supposed to be for like business-orientated stuff, but even though it's like a form of a business degree, you don't need a business degree to own a business. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said it perfectly. Like basically, you going for a degree. That's just you working towards working for somebody else. Like you know what I'm saying? That's all you're doing. Which if that's cool for you, that's cool for you. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? There's just so many different sources and tools for you to get to certain places. Some of the most successful, a lot of the most successful people in the world or people in my world, either they're doing something that has nothing to do with the degree that they have, or they don't have a degree at all, and they still, you know what I'm saying? They still doing their thing. I have an uncle who I ain't never known this nigga to have a job, and he still legally makes hella money. This nigga been surviving just fine without ever having to work for somebody. So, what's your take on it? Just the importance of college, and somebody that has multiple degrees as well. Disclaimer. Okay, well, somebody that has a degree.
I'm the only person up here without one. Okay.
I have one degree. I have an AA, and I don't know. I can't fully be against it. One, I don't have that because I am fortunate enough to where my mom has a good job. She's a nurse, So we pay for all our shit, 15,000 plus.
Ooh, thank Jesus. Cause man,
so we pay for that.
I can't relate.
Parents help pay for that, and then my ex's parents help pay for like my first semester. So it's like, but she was trying to do that to where when I go to university, then I can take out a student loan and not have as much debt.
Right.
So that's why we.
Yeah, I went to a JC first as well.
That's why we got the
My spit ain't
I tried to do the
bad.
same thing. They told me you get no
then,
loans, no financial aid, no nothing.
And I don't get financial aid either because my mom makes too much. So it's like it really sucked to where.
I will
like
say what I
really
did, but let me not incriminate myself on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you guys' point of view and people's point of view when it's like you don't need it to just rack up debt and not use what you went to school for. However, on the flip side, I have seen the benefits and how it's changed my life and saved my life to go to school. Like,
and it's good to be a part of something in your adult life. You know
lowest
what I mean?
points in college, but I also am part of the group, the very small group of people who started a BSU on our college campus for the first time ever in that school's history.
Okay.
I stuck around to, have my art and the student jury exhibition, the gallery or whatever. I've met people and art teachers who were like mentors who have full-blown rally for advocation of my life because I was in a hard time. They're like, anybody who's had Tiana in their class knows that she's worth saving and we got to do everything we can to help her stay with it because I've had people who've seen my potential and brought out that potential in me. I never thought I could be an artist until I had my first art teacher who changed my life and helped save my life. Art saved my life. So for me, college is different. The exposures I've gotten from it has been life-changing and life-saving in a lot of different ways. I've made a lot of colleagues and friends, but I've experienced a lot.
To me, that's the biggest asset to college.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Like, I met two of my best friends on that in college when my first year. Tyler and Tyrell, they actually twins. We didn't even know we was from the same city until we met a mutual friend. So I ended up in college being homeless. Like, I was sleeping on park benches. I was sleeping in my car, like, really, like, struggling. Like, I ain't have nowhere to turn. I wasn't going to turn back to my parents because I was the one who moved out there, Like, I didn't want to. It's embarrassing to call your parents and say, Mom and Dad, I'm fucking homeless. Like, so it was like, bruh, they found out and basically was like, bruh, come sleep on the couch. Like, nah, bro. Like, we might not be able to give you no room, bro, but you can sleep on this couch, bro. We not gonna leave you outside like that. You can sleep on my floor. You can do whatever, bro. We gonna figure something out. And like to this day, like I would do whatever for them boys. Like one of them actually got in a real bad car accident. He called me. He was like, "You busy?" And like he was like fighting for his life, like legit fighting for his life. And then Twin was like, "You busy? I need somebody to take him to the hospital." Tyler just got in a car accident. I said, "Bro, I'm on the way, bro." And then when he got in the car, I was like, "Bro, don't ever ask me if I'm busy for you, bro. Don't ever ask me if I'm busy for you." So like she said, the connections that you can make in college are like lifelong. Like you can make lifelong connections.
And they weren't even all for me. They weren't even all through like school. Having my roommates. Some of my last roommates I had in the house I was staying at. They lived out.
My uncle met his wife like that. She didn't even go to the school. Well, no, he didn't go to the school, but she went to the school, and his brother went to the school. He ended up finding his wife, you know what I'm saying, just from being that. My cousin I was just telling y'all about, he don't use his degree for his job, but the person he's married to, he met in college. So,
which is one. Man. I don't have that luxury. However, I've met cool people who are like
I'm sure you know a lot of people that have said, like, yeah, I met my husband and my wife.
For me, it's like they're family. Like, my old roommates, they're like family.
Right.
They just visited me after they didn't spend like too much traveling across the country. There was Arizona, they came to Lancaster to visit me when they need to go back up to Humboldt. They went out of their way with their cat, the family, to come see me when I missed their wedding this summer. I wasn't able to get out there to be there, for them and in the mix. But it's, that brought almost tears to my eyes because it's like, I regarded y'all as family anyways, outside of before I left and all that. Y'all further solidify every time we talk. And you just going out of your way during a full-blown road trip when y'all, just begging to get home. Y'all got another family friend whose wife is in labor right now. Like, y'all trying to get home. Y'all still took the chance
to
come
stop
see
by,
me, knowing that I wasn't in the space to come see you guys at the moment and haven't been.
Right.
And that kind of loyalty, even friends that I've had just a couple classes with, y'all done bought the most art. Y'all done supported me the most. Like, y'all have given me, y'all the ones that are my most loyal customers and the people who have the most of my art. That is paid for and given and whatever. It's like some of my best supporters are people that I've met for that short amount of time. And that brief span, it's changed my life for real. I definitely think college has its pros and cons. I don't think you should just do it for other people. I think you should do it
for you.
Perfectly said.
For you.
Do not do that don't do it because somebody else told you to do it.
And if you're in school,
if that's a part of your path, then
and you're thinking about like giving up and stuff, and you're close, because I'll say this for anybody who's close, got one semester left, don't give up. What's the option? It's either you give up and you have to start over one day, or just super derail yourself,
or wasted all
that's
that
funny
money.
Or you
that.
just finish it up.
I was 2 semesters away from masters, and I stopped.
See,
you wildin', B.
Yeah,
but okay, but look, let me explain to y'all why. At the time, I had an option to start traveling all around the country and working and making good money.
Fair enough.
Go finish those.
I mean, everything's
and that's the whole point LaMelo's making. Like, there was a project, like, no matter of fact, not a project, but a question asked in my sister's, like, she went to a trade school, and the guy was like, would you take, how many of you would just take the full ride to college, or would take the $2 million NBA contract straight out of high school, fully guaranteed? 98% of the class raised their hand for the college scholarship.
And the my 2% sister, that didn't.
My sister was the only person who raised her hand for the $2 million. And the professor said, the rest of y'all are stupid. Because with that $2 million, even if you don't pan out in the NBA, you can take that money and go right back to school.
Right.
Or start a business or something. There's no, like LaMelo said, for him, there was no point in him going to college. What was the need? What was the need?
And then and I'm glad that these athletes and celebrities aren't so PC these days, because there was a time, like, if you said that 20 years ago, he would have got killed for that. Man. You know what I'm saying? I remember Vince Carter, I don't know if you might remember this, when he didn't go to Game 3 because he went to go graduate.
He actually made it back in time, halfway through. That's okay,
so I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he flew back halfway through.
And remember how he got killed for that. You know what I'm saying?
Like LeBron James, like Roy Williams, former coach of the UNC Tar Heels, will tell you this. He walked into one of LeBron's games and said, he walked out after the first quarter and said, "There's no point in me talking to this kid about coming to college. He'd be wasting his time coming to college. He would miss out on millions and millions of dollars coming to college."
And he would have, because he signed a super multi-million with Nike like immediately.
I think that last, not necessarily warning, but statement of caution was more so for the people who have, how do I put this? They're in their last semester, but they want to give up because they did not graduate at the time that they were expecting.
Okay, gotcha. I feel that.
I didn't get that fully out, because that was my situation where it's like, I didn't graduate when I was supposed to or on track to. Ended up having to take a whole nother semester. If I didn't, I wouldn't have learned, connected with some of the best teachers, wouldn't have had the experiences I've had. That last semester was one of the most monumental semesters in my life, because I was on the brink of life. I almost took my life. Like, it was very insane, but I could have not had to do that technically, but at the same time, I was going to give up too. And my teacher is like one of my best mentors in the art section of school. She was telling me, like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give up? Because that's literally either you drop out or you just take another semester and just have it take a semester longer. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. For me, it takes simple logic for me to keep going for certain things. Like, I can't do what I want to do if I'm dead. So I guess I got to stay alive. Yeah. If I'm going to be doing all this college previously, it's either I do another semester or I give up, and I refuse to give up after all this shit I done did. So I guess I just got to take another semester, and that's that. Just to end up wanting to take another semester, but I ended up graduating without knowing it. So just little things. Like, I took classes I didn't need to. I did things I didn't need to, but ultimately I stuck with it. And like my ex, he bowed out a semester away from a bachelor's. Granted, he has a career in the funeral industry, which he'll always have, because everybody gonna always be dying. Yeah. So That's always gonna be there.
I knew she was gonna say
And he
that.
can always and if you're one semester
back.
away or 2 semesters away, you're still gonna be 1 or 2 semesters
And you
away.
can
So you
still
can
get
always
that class and stuff.
go
But
back
it was
and
just
do
that matter of like you
Yeah,
could
use
close
that
this
close.
chapter out. You
Mhm.
could have closed this out while you in this area, while you at the school, while you in this program or whatever it was. You could have closed this out, but instead you focus on the money. You want fast cash. You want. Granted, the only thing that makes it kind of okay for him is that he had a career. You went to the funeral industry.
That's
not
more
going
so
nowhere.
the
You can
point
go
I think
anywhere
that
in the United
LaMelo was
States.
trying to make. If you have a plan
If you have a career
and things like that, like if you
opportunity,
not normal like an NBA player, I'm not going to college, bro.
Right.
Like if I know that I could possibly make, I know for a fact I'm going to make X amount of money without this degree, and the degree I was going for, if I was just going to school to make money.
And even if you don't want to like work so hard to like maintain it or keep it forever, I would hope that a motherfucker smart enough to take a very lucrative deal or opportunity and piece and pinch and save as much as you can over time as possible.
You can always go back to school.
You have some type of, because you know some scholarships, some opportunities you can't. That's not your money to spend. That's money for what you're doing.
Right.
But for the cases where you can't, you better save every ounce of money you can in the time frame that you are allowed to for whatever amount of money you got for this amount of time.
Right.
Save, because that's gonna come in clutch. That rainy day fund is always something worth having.
That's facts.
And it's always useful. Being an adult human comes with little hiccups and hitches that you can never predict, but it's always good to be prepared for it. And that's
For
something just for any adult listening.
And one more point I can make about going to college, another big pro, because I've heard this from a lot of people that I've been cool with. People getting jobs from professors. To your point about having relationships with certain professors, certain people, recommendation letters. You don't know who your professor know. You don't know some professors really like. I don't know if y'all experienced this. Some of them really be having bread, like and really be super like successful
really
in their field or connected to somebody in that field. And some of them are like just watching you and how you carry yourself, or just you networking and your personality, will be like, hey, after this class is done, I really want to hire you to do this for me, or I've seen this. I'm about to start a business. I want to help you. I want you to help me get this off the ground, and we'll be partners with it. So
I know firsthand I have at least 5 different art professors alone that I can get a banging letter recommendation from.
Right.
For any
and that's
school,
the important part.
for any major
if you gonna
job
work that
I
spit,
want,
work that spit. If you there,
do
you feel me?
Like anybody,
and we'll leave it at that.